Hey, Sarah, thanks for giving me an overview of Reformed Druidism on the walk last evening.
Not a problem, Peter. At least we didn't get eaten by the zombies. Usually, Druids meet during the daytime, in lovely places outdoors under the sun.
I'm glad that I found you guys. You aren't in the phone book, or easy to find. Are you a secret society?
No, we don't really care about recruiting. If people hear about us, or ask us, like you did, then we'll explain it. As you know, there are many intolerant folks who wish to hurt people from minority faiths, so it is understandable that members don't go around yelling it on street corners. We're not secret, and many members are very open about their membership. This is their choice.
How long have you been a member?
Just about 5 years now.
Do you have any other religious affiliations?
I was raised Catholic, and still go to Mass on weekends. How about you?
Not sure. I had a distinct tradition when I was growing up. Generally a Christian, I suppose. Now, I guess I'm one of those spiritual, but not religious types you hear about.
I understand that. Why don't you tell me what you remember from last night from my overview?
Basically, you said that the Reformed Druids were founded in 1963. They are a bit eclectic. Some follow it as a religion or a philosophy. They follow some, but not all, customs of the ancient Druids. That's why they are called Reformed. Reformed Druids are rather disorganized, but friendly and open to members of all religions. People can come or leave as they feel, and you don't control them like a cult. You said that nature was important and it is a neutral source of inspiration for Reformed Druids, and that you mark the passings of the seasons with services outdoors. That's all I remember.
More or less, that's it. Now, we are going to talk about the only two religious beliefs that all members agree upon. You know, I think I could stand on one leg and recite them all to you.
Now, that's something I'd like to see.
Okay, ready? Don't blink. Here they come.
Ready. I'm listening.
1. The object of the search for religious truth, which is a universal and a never-ending search, may be found through the Earth Mother, which is nature. But this is one way, yea, one way among many. 2. And great is the importance, which is of a spiritual importance, of nature, which is the Earth Mother. For it is one of the objects of creation, and with it we do live, yea, even as we do struggle through life are we come face to face with it.
That was it. That's pretty short.
They are short. Many initial declarations of faith for religions are actually rather short and quick. However, coming to that point of belief may take a long time. But when they are sincerely stated, they mark an important step onto a larger journey. Good things come in small packages. The trip is not over, by any means, but it is well begun.
Well, that's true, but many faiths require a baptism, rite of passage or period of training too, right?
Yes. And to become a Reformed Druid of the first order, one affirms those two basic tenets and then one must drink the waters of life that have been blessed by a third order at one of our services.
Back up for a moment. What are the waters of life?
That's the English translation of the Gaelic, Ushkabeha, which is of course, whiskey. When a mixture of whiskey and water is blessed at a service and shared, it is called the waters of life. The ancient Celts invented whiskey a few thousand years ago, and they are a very potent spirit.
What if I don't drink alcohol?
Then we'd have to come up with an alternative idea. Perhaps we could pour it on your head.
Works for me. You said something about a first and third order. What are those?
Reformed Druids who wish to undertake various positions in the service, and not just observe, are encouraged to do further study and become second or third order Druids. If you feel a calling to make another grove, or group, of Reformed Druids, then you'll want to become a second or third order Druid. Many are quite content to remain a first order Druid.
Are you a third order Druid, Sarah?
No, Peter, I'm a first order Druid. I'm just not interested in running a group or leading a service now.
Is a third order Druid better than a first order Druid?
No, it just means she or he has taken on more duties, work and responsibility for our activities. My opinion is just as valued as any member of a second or third order, as long as I make a good argument. If I feel that vocation, then I'll enter the second order, but there is a lot of room to grow, explore and learn as a first order. I don't feel a hurry or calling beyond where I am now.
So there are 3 orders of Reformed Druidry.
Yes, the first order is the general membership. Everyone in Reformed Druidism is a first order, everyone. People who wish to assist with the services or take on responsibilities for keeping track of records, carrying supplies or preparation for events, they will likely want to also enter the second order, someday. When someone feels interested in leading a grove, or officiating at a service, or feels a strong urge to mentor new members, then they are probably headed for the third order soon.
Do I have to take a training class to move between orders, if I go that route?
There are no formal classes in the RDNA, but the RGG has a more organized training class. Generally, applicants to the second and third order should know more about the history, variations of Reformed Druidism, watch and learn at events, and develop a mentor-student relationship. But today we are only talking about the 2 basic tenets in the first order, which is all most of us really care about.
Right. Could you repeat the 2 tenets again? The language was a bit confusing.
Indeed it is. The original founders enjoyed using the English of the King James Bible in their early writings. Here is the full fancy version again. 1. The object of the search for a religious truth, which is a universal and a never-ending search, may be found through the Earth Mother, which is nature. But this is one way, yea, one way among many. 2. And great is the importance, which is of a spiritual importance, of nature, which is the Earth Mother. For it is one of the objects of creation, and with it we do live, yea, even as we do struggle through life are we come face to face with it.
You didn't stand on one leg.
That is optional, silly. Let me also give you a plain talk version. 1. North American Reformed Druids believe that one of the many ways in which the object of man's search for a religious truth can be found is through nature, the Earth Mother. 2. North American Reformed Druids believe that nature, being one of the primary concerns in man's life and struggle, and being one of the objects of creation, is important to man's spiritual quests.
Okay, I've almost got it. Since it is short, why don't we break it down a bit?
Sure. While we have no formal explanation of those basic tenets, I'll give you my own interpretations. Let's begin with the fancy version's first tenet, first clause, the object of the search for a religious truth. In Reformed Druidism we refer to this goal often as awareness. Perhaps it is similar to what Christians call grace, Buddhists may seek with nirvana, or some may call enlightenment.
Indeed, most people wish to grow wiser and find a better way of life and understanding.
Right. Thus the first tenet continues, which is a universal and a never-ending search. So, we think everyone is trying to progress, and that there is always more to be learned. Now, we say that this may be found through the Earth Mother, which is nature.
That might be a controversial bit.
While anti-materialists may disagree, I think that since we are surrounded by nature, and are part of nature, and must live in nature, we can't help but draw some models from it.
The material can influence our conceptions of the abstract.
Couldn't put it better myself. Yet, we generously say, but this is one way, yea, one way among many. We acknowledge diverse paths can make people aware, and our way works for us.
That's the first tenet then. Nature could help us in our search for awareness.
Yes. Now the second tenet begins, and great is the importance, which is of a spiritual importance, of nature, which is the Earth Mother. In other words, nature is spiritually important. The concept of nature is referred to as the Earth Mother. We are not necessarily calling her a goddess, though. You can approach it on an archetypal level.
I kind of like Mother Nature more.
Then call her that. Now the next part of the second tenet is, for it is one of the objects of creation. Well, I am kind of at a loss with this part. The founders were mostly Episcopalian, and put that in. Some faiths do not have a creation, but posit an endless or circular existence. I leave it to you to figure out what it means to you. Think creatively. And finally, in the second tenet, and with it we do live, yea, even as we do struggle through life are we come face to face with it. As I just said, you can't ignore nature, and you're going to see things that help you to put the grand puzzle together, so acknowledge nature is there.
So, nature is a prominent part of our life and can help us figure things out in our spirituality?
Yeah, I usually say, contemplation of nature is another tool in my spiritual toolbox.
It's still hard to remember.
Yeah. Thus, the shorthand version. Nature is good, and nature is good. Not necessarily loving, but it is helpful.
So those are the basic tenets all Reformed Druids agree with. I'd like to learn more.
I've got to run to class, so I'll tell Andrea to meet you this afternoon to talk about why less is more for Druids. Bye. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.